Yes! 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 Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with my WWE Night of Champions review for tonight. Sunday, September 15th, 2013, live from Detroit, Michigan at the Joe Louis Arena. I wasn't there because I live here, but I can only imagine the energy at the Joe Louis tonight. Great crowd in the Joe tonight. I've been in the Detroit shows before. I know Detroit's a good crowd and they will tonight. What a night, Night of Champions. Last year was a little better. The main event was a lot exciting. But still, we had a great channel change. And glad no screw jobs happened. There was a couple screwy things that happened, though. We had a title match that ended screwily. We had an unexpected surprise during a match. And among other things. So, pay-per-view, I rate this pay-per-view a 6.5 out of 10. Good pay-per-view night. It was okay actually tonight. Nothing spectacular like SummerSlam, you know. But it was still, I was entertained tonight. It was a good show tonight. You know, not a great show, but a good show. Very, at least somewhat exciting. You know, decently exciting. Alright, let's kick off with our pregame match. Of course, the tag team turmoil gauntlet for the opportunity to wrestle the tag team champions at the pay-per-view. Now, I missed most of the pregame match. I kind of saw it. Of course, the gauntlet involved the Usos, the Job Squad, the 3MB. Of course, the Real Americans, Tons of Funk, and Primetime Players, PTP. It came down. The final two of the gauntlet were the Primetime Players and the Real Americans. And it was the Primetime Players who got the victory in this gauntlet match, getting the title match for the WWE Tag Team title match at Night of Champions tonight against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins on the main card. I will not give it a rating. I will not give the match a rating because I only saw half the match. So I'm not going to rate the match. Let's move on with our main card, which began with a segment. Well, did I expect the pay-per-view to begin with a segment? Anyway, a lot of revelations were made. Changes were made to some matches. And a last-minute match was made in this segment. The scheduled Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel elimination handicap match against Punk would not be no disqualification. That stipulation was made during the pregame because Heyman's like, if I get in, I'm making myself intentionally disqualified. Someone did get intentionally disqualified tonight, but it wasn't Heyman because there was no DQ in that match that was made. Also, Triple H, starting off the pay-per-view, he made clear about that disqualification, no DQ rule with Heyman when he came out to interrupt Triple H. After Triple H made the announcement that the Randy Orton Daniel Bryan match for the WWE Championship will be a no interference match. No interference from anybody. No Big Show, no Shield. I was like, that's interesting. That's interesting, no distraction, no interference. That was a good call, though. But I thought there was some implications to that. But as we would see in the main event, there was no implications. There was no exception. Nobody interfered. Anyway, at the Triple H made that, even in like an Are You Ready, you know, like a DX thing. We saw Paul Heyman come out, like I said, interrupting Triple H, bitch about this whole no DQ stip added. And Triple H made fun of him about him not being clean shaven and all that. And then he's like, wait a minute. Tonight's Night of Champions. I made a mistake by not booking a match with AXEL defending his title. Even I said that when this match was made. I was like, wait a minute. AXEL's not defending his Intercontinental Championship, and this is Night of Champions? Come on. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. So it was a last-minute match. AXEL wrestled twice tonight. I did not think they were going to actually let him wrestle twice. But hey, if the Primetime Players have to wrestle twice after winning the gauntlet match, if they wrestle on the pregame, they wrestle again on the main card, have Curtis Axel wrestle twice. So they have him defend his title in an impromptu match against Kofi Kingston. Now, Kofi did defeat Dean Ambrose. I think it was on SmackDown, I think. Or a few weeks ago or something. But Kofi got the... Not Dean Ambrose, but I think Kofi did defeat Axel in a non-title match. I think it was on Monday, I think. I said that on Monday. I talked about the fact that I think Kofi should get a title shot against Axel. But I thought he wasn't going to get it tonight, but he did. So Kofi Kingston came in like a ball of fat, but I was like, Kofi, he's been IC champion so many times. He needs to be big time champion now. WWE, do something about this. Like someone say he's mid card for life, and I would agree to that somewhat. But I hope Kofi does break out someday. But it's been 5 years since Kofi's debuted. Despite my previous comments, Kofi came in all fired up. You know, storyline not knowing about this match. He probably found out when he first walked into place. You know, the storyline impromptu, but for not having much hype to it and just being a surprise match, spur of the moment, it was a decent matchup for what it was in the opening. Kofi Kingston came in his usual high-flying style, trying to deliver his big-time moves. And seeing that AXEL, Heyman was, of course, hoping to not have AXEL be weakened in time for the match against Punk later on in the evening. Like, every time AXEL was pinned, and Kofi Kofi had a great effort. He delivered all the big, he did the boom drop. Numerous attempts at the Trouble in Paradise went without connecting. And then, of course, after numerous times at the SOS, he did get to nail the SOS numerous times, and he got to nail it with a 1-2 kick out from AXEL. And every time you see AXEL get pinned, you would see Heyman's face just boil up, and hoping that AXEL would have the nerve, the balls to kick out of that move. And there you go. And AXEL had some great offense tonight, and some defense too. He was on the defensive point, especially with the high-flying moves of Kofi. But indeed, AXEL came back with his own little maniacal style without even help from Punk. His former best friend, Heyman. I'm glad Heyman didn't get involved in the matchup. Anyway, despite AXEL's best attempt to beat Kofi by grounding him down and trying for his little finishing move, Kofi did come back midway towards the matchup. That's when he did deliver the big moves, the big boom drop, and try to nail numerous attempts at the Trouble in Paradise. He did, like I said, after numerous attempts at another move, he did try the SOS. And after that, Kofi was going to go for another move. And he had him in the electric chair position. Looked like he was going for a hurricane on him. And then AXEL waved his head against the ropes. Kofi was on, pretend my hands is Kofi. AXEL waved him against the ropes, set up his finishing maneuver. I don't know the name of it. It's like a killer move. It's a Hangman's facebuster move. It just made only a piece of Kofi's hair fly out of his head after AXEL nailed the finish. It looked like a piece of hair fell out of Kofi's head after that move. But no matter what, after that finisher, that little move, 1, 2, 3, victory for Curtis AXEL retaining the Intercontinental Championship. Despite being put in this predicament last minute. I'll give this match a 2.2. Despite lack of hype to it, being last minute and all, it was a decent opener. It was very fast paced. And I think AXEL did well. I think Kofi had a great performance tonight, but I'm kind of secretly glad. As much as I would have loved to see Kofi win the title tonight again. Like I said earlier, I would have been mad as well if he won, because he deserves better than being IC champion again. He should be world champion or WWE champion. And they had these polls tonight. And the results of these polls of who's the best champion, winned or not. Anyway, they had the Intercontinental Championship poll. Chris Jericho won that poll. I love Jericho, and I think there was only 2 polls that got right, in my opinion. Jericho was, I think, deservedly should have been voted the best Intercontinental Champion, but he won because of one reason. Bret Hart wasn't on the ballot. Bret Hart wasn't on the ballot for best IC champion. He wasn't on the ballot for tag team champion, but that's another story. So Jericho won that poll, and then they had another poll before our next match, which was for the Divas Championship. At least they got that one right. Trish won that poll as greatest Divas champion of all time. That was fucking deserved. At least that was right. However, our next matchup, which, like I said, was for the Divas Championship, Fatal 4-Way. It was AJ with nobody to lean on because of a big mouth blabbing off about the Divas division, saying that she is bigger than the division, that she is the division after delivering her CM Punk type pipe bomb a few weeks ago. She was, of course, defending in a fatal 4-way against 3 members of the cast of the show that she dissed, Total Divas. Of course, Natalya, Brie Bella, wearing her little Brie White outfit, and Naomi. Now, I kind of had a suspicion of how this match was going to go. That the Total Divas girls were gonna team up on AJ, triple team them, and then after they take out AJ for the Intrium, take on each other for a while, though AJ picks up the pieces after they beat the crap out of each other. Well, that's kind of what happened in this Fatal 4-Way matchup. Right from the get-go, the 3 Total Diva cast members beat the crap out of AJ, isolating her, beating her outside the ring, and taking turns. Each Diva had a chance to take those shots at AJ before taking her out until, like I said, they got to beat the crap out of each other for a little bit as AJ was taken out in the Intrium. You know, Brie Bella had those shots, and Naomi, I think Naomi's getting better as a wrestler. You know, yes, I hate Tons of Funk, the tag team. Yes, I hate the fact that Buddha's Clan and Tensai are faces. Yes, I hate the fact they should be fucking monsters and not these fucking face-dancing fools. But Naomi, you know, fucking actor or not, I think she does have potential somewhat. I think she does have great ability. And I think I'll say this. She's a better wrestler. She's not as good as a wrestler as Natalya. She's a better wrestler than Brie Bella. That's for fucking sure. AJ's debatable, but still. Anyway, as these 3 girls were trading shots with each other, Naomi delivered the Rio V with some decent athletic moves. AJ, like I predicted, came to try to pick up the pieces as one of the Divas was taken down. AJ would try to come in with the cheap pin, but then would be thwarted. And AJ tried a whole little offense too, even get into a slapping contest with Natalya, which ended with Natalya slapping the taste out of AJ's mouth with some slap moves. It was like out of control matchup there. And in any, if I wanted someone to win the title, I wanted Natalya to win. If you've been seeing my reviews, I've been talking about, you know, comparisons between WWE and a certain company whose superstars won the polls tonight. It rhymes with DNA. Anyway, as Natalya took advantage in the later half of the matchup, becoming the diva that took hold, she put Brie and Naomi in a double sharpshooter. That was pretty cool. I think King said something about this is the first time ever. Check me if I'm wrong. I think Daddy has done a double sharpshooter before. I forgot what pay-per-view it was, but I thought I saw Natalya do a double sharpshooter before. Please, if Natty did do a double sharpshooter before, comment. And what was it? I thought I might have seen it done before, but I didn't. I don't remember the match or the pay-per-view. Anyways, Natalya did have the double sharpshooter on Naomi and Brie. Here comes AJ to break it up. They took Natty, put her in the position for the Black Widow submission, and got the tap out submission. So AJ, by hook or crook, got the victory and retained her Divas Championship. I'm going to see this match a 2.0. It wasn't a bad Divas match tonight. It was kind of exciting for once, but still, it was a Divas match. At least it wasn't short. Now, on with the next match, which was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, I'm surprised this was placed so low in the card. But seeing the ending, I can kind of tell now after seeing the ending why this match was on early. It was, of course, Bryan, old Battle Creek, Michigan's own Rob Van Dam with Ricardo in his corner with an elbow. I think that Alberto put the cross-arm break on him a few weeks ago or something. What about this week's SmackDown? I don't watch SmackDown. Anyway, because he took on Alberto Del Rio. The crowd, of course, being in Michigan and all, you know, home state. And the last time Rob Van Dam was in WWE at the Joe in Detroit was at Royal Rumble 2009. And I was there that night when RVD made that one win before we went to TNA. And then, of course, came back this year. Of course, the crowd was on their feet with RVD chants. And very much pro RVD. And RVD, he has been Alberto before in 2 different occasions with distractions by Ricardo, both times with the inverted bucket, which led to Ricardo being attacked by Del Rio, with Del Rio turning on Ricardo, and the match that sealed RVD's ticket to be the #1 contender for the night. And Albany came in, of course, with his usual high-flying style. And Alberto didn't have a way to counter it at first because RVD nailed all his big moves. The monkey flip and all the big-time moves that he is known for. And he got the I liked the fact he did a leg drop from the rope when Alberto was hanging on the barricade. Alberto got the leg drop from RVD from the rope apron when it was on the barricade. That was kind of a cool move. I liked that he did that. And so despite that little fury by RVD, because RVD got grounded a bit by Alberto as he went for his usual sneaky little offense, including wiggling the arm, of course, wiggling the arm to get it ready to sink in the cross arm breaker. Despite all the punishment that Alberto did give RVD with his own little headlocks and his elbows and his nasty kicks as powerful as RVD's own kicks, which of course Del Rio did get a lot of kicks to the head, including a big one later on. So RVD, after delivering all his big moves of rolling, I think he did attempt Rolling Thunder one time. And I thought he was waiting to do another attempt at Rolling Thunder, but it was an attempt to do the 5-star frog splash towards the end of the matchup. As he weakened Alberto and got advantage back in his corner. He was ready to deliver the 5-star. He did, but Alberto put the knees up, blocked it, and that was when Alberto performed the 5-star. That was when RVD's arm was weakened by Alberto. So after that counter, that block of the 5-star frog flip with the knees, Alberto set up the cross arm breaker on RVD. I thought that was over. I thought RVD was going to tap, but then RVD got to the ropes. He got to the ropes, and Alberto, of course, you have a 5 count to break the hold. And Alberto wouldn't break the hold at the 5 count. You want to count to 5. Alberto didn't break the hold despite RVD on the ropes. So, cheap finish. Screwy finish. RVD wins the match for disqualification after Del Rio, if I might purposely, saved his title. But Alberto would not be walking. After the matchup, Alberto was going to do more damage to RVD by nailing him with a steel chair. But then, as he was about to, Del Rio's former friend and now RVD's announcer, Ricardo Rodriguez, took the chair from Alberto, setting up RVD to deliver the DDT on Del Rio. So then Alberto was prone to the corner by Mr. Ricardo. And then he took the chair, and then RVD did a Van Daminator from one side of the ring to the other, kind of like a coast-to-coast move like Shaman Man does, but RVD minds a Van Daminator. You know, the jump the top rope and deliver the kick to Alberto in the corner with the chair to his face with a lot of ECW chants. So there you go. RVD, despite losing, he had a valiant effort, but I know he'll get a rematch. Because it was a screwy ending with Del Rio purposely saving the title with him not breaking the hold after RVD got to the ropes on the cross arm breaker. Now, we had another surprise match. Last minute matchup made. It was Fandango. There's a lot of Fandango tonight. Scaramouche, Detroit, doing the Fandango. And I kind of knew who Fandango was going to face tonight. Fandango cost Miz a match last week on Raw. I think I kind of said that on my Raw review. That despite, I thought they had a match a few weeks
ago on Raw, but I think the feud wasn't over yet. And you could tell it wasn't over because not only did Miz get distracted by a match on Raw by Fandango, but also won a dance contest on SmackDown. So there you go, the Fandango. There was all Fandango, like I said, going on in Detroit. So Miz and Fandango being last minute, one of 2 last minute matches. One being the IC title match being last minute, and this Miz and Fandango match being last minute. There was even some Summer Rae chants. There was a lot of chanting going on in this matchup. Detroit was trying to be like other cities and you've been seeing this on a lot of walls. Starting at the wall in New Jersey, that's become a trend now. I think it's become a trend now. You've seen it on wall numerous weeks since the wall in New Jersey.
that whenever there's a match that's boring, fans try to hype it up by chanting random things. Not as random as usual, but still, they were chanting like, like Randy Savage, even one that I loved, especially when we get to our next match. We want tables. We want tables. And it was, like I said, there was a Summer Rain chant too. There was a Summer Rain sign too. So there you go. Of course, Fandango trying to dance his moves, and he did have some okay offense, despite having to be on the defensive for the first half of the matchup, with Miz dominating with his big moves, a big splash in the corner. Vintage Miz, as Michael Cole would love to say. Pat yourself in the back, Michael Cole, that your ass is saying, because JR got fired. Retired. Fired. Anyway, I thought JR there was a little levels about JR. There's the only thing about JR. Jim was apparently retired, but there's a lot of backstage stories saying he got fired and is making his retirement as a cover-up. Anyway, I went to pay-per-view review with Fandango coming back in the offensive despite Miz's early fury. Fandango came flying back with some big moves on the floor and even delivering a big scissors kick later on in the matchup. Even trying to do another scissor kick later, but Miz avoided it. And Miz did try for his big move, of course, trying to go for the figure four numerous times. And then Fandango trying to avoid that and avoiding the skull crushing finale. But then as Miz was down for the count again by Fandango, slamming Miz again, Fandango was put in the figure four by the Miz and had to tap out. So there you go. Miz gets the victory over Fandango. Now, before I get to our next match, I forgot to mention who won the World Championship poll for the greatest world champion of all time. It was Booker T that won the poll. I think Ric Flair should have won. And I love Booker T to death. If it was the best WCW champions, Ric Flair would have won no matter what, because world champion is a WCW championship. So Booker T won. Booker! I did like that gimmick, though. It was kind of silly, but hey. The only thing I hated about that gimmick was his accent. The French American accent in that gimmick, so there you go. Now, on with the no DQ handicap match. CM Punk taking on Paul Heyman. And because AXEL, Heyman's been trying to weave his way out of this matchup. But after seeing the ending of this match, was it purpose? Was Paul Heyman playing possum? Did he knew what was going to happen in the ending? Well, it looked like Punk was, of course, ready to get his hands on the Warwicks. Cuckoo, cuckoo. A lot of Warwicks chants tonight. Anyway, Punk and AXEL, of course, as expected, started out. And then, of course, Punk went straight for Heyman. He did like a big fly move after he and AXEL started the matchup with dueling candlesticks. That's why I was like, there's two reasons why, in my mind, the match was made into a no DQ match. One, so Heyman won't be a weasel about this. Won't weasel his way out of it this time, again. And number two, so Punk can kind of get revenge by nailing him with the candlesticks. And that's what kind of happened. Like he did nail AXEL a few times with a candlestick before doing a big splash move onto the floor, like a little warning splash onto the floor to try to get his hands on Heyman. Until, like I thought, as Heyman was going to get his beatings from Punk early, like he did last time, a few weeks back, AXEL delivered a low blow to Punk and took over the later half of this matchup. Oh, by the way, my rating of Fandango Miz, 2.0. Kind of a last-minute thing. We'll see it despite lack of announcements. Once again, WWE likes to do that. They like to add last-minute surprise matches without any hype. Championship matches without hype. With the U.S. Championship, too. Anyway, so we got AXEL delivering some big-time moves. Of course, AXEL already wrestled against KOFI. Didn't seem the least tired. But of course, Punk, being his never say die attitude, came flying back. But of course, going for his big moves, a big swinging neck breaker, the big knees in the corner, and of course, the elbow for the top rope. Of course, with Randy Savage chants, I loved it. And speaking of love that I told you during the Miss Fandango match, there was a we want tables chant, and they did buy out a table. So I was going to go to buy out a table, though it wouldn't be used till later on in the match, but still. Nice to see a table be involved in the fans chanting it. So Punk and Axel duked it out for about, 15 minutes or so. Punk was ready to put the nail in the coffin, and Axel came flying back with his own little flying moves. I think he did try to go for that same move he did on KOFI a few times to Punk. But Punk, after delivering the big knees, and of course the big elbow from the top, he did get the GTS on Mr. Axel after 2 attempts. And the 1, 2, 3 victory, but not so fast. After attempting the GTS, he did get the Anaconda Vice on Mr. Axel, which made the tap out. So Axel was eliminated. Then came the moment we were all waiting. Punk getting his hands on Heyman after Axel got eliminated. The inevitable. I think it was like waiting for the inevitable with Axel and Punk. We all knew Axel was going to get eliminated one way or another, and Punk was going to attempt to get his hands on Heyman, which he kind of did. Despite Heyman wandering around the entire arena, trying to escape Punk's wrath, Paul Heyman once again was left to his own devices and left all over Punk, and Punk got at least a little taste of sweet revenge, way to deliver a GTS on Heyman. Nailing him with the he was teasing the GTS after he nailed Heyman with the kendo stick a few times. But then he pulled out from his crotch handcuffs. If kindering sticking Heyman wasn't bad enough, he was going to treat Heyman the same way Heyman treat him. Kindering hitting Heyman with the kendo stick, well, Heyman was handcuffed. And Punk was loving the sweet revenge, nailing Heyman a lot of times with the kendo stick. It was ready to deliver the final punishment to Punk. Punk delivered the final punishment to Heyman. That was until we had an unexpected visitor. Goldberg, Ryback, needs to be fired. Ryback. Why did he have to come out? It was like, what the fuck? It was like a big fucking surprise. Punk was ready to nail the coffin of Heyman till Ryback came out of nowhere, spine busted Punk through the table set up in the corner early in the matchup, and then of all things, he basically pushed Paul Heyman, lifted Paul Heyman on top of Punk, and Heyman's still handcuffed, by the way. And 1, 2, 3, Paul Heyman wins. Thanks to Ryback. Then Ryback lifted him back. Like I said in the beginning, talk about this match in the beginning. Heyman was trying to escape this match for weeks. He's been trying to find any way, any loophole to get out of his matchup, faking injury and all that. Was he really faking it, or did he knew that Ryback was going to help him? Is Ryback a new Heyman guy? Was Heyman just playing mind games with Punk? Did he knew Ryback was going to be involved? Would involve the storyline, Was Punk in cahoots with Ryback the entire time and just suckering Punk into this match? And trying to sucker Punk to get a no DQ so Ryback can interfere? Who knows? There's going to be a lot of questions to be answered on the water tomorrow night. Especially coming out of the main event tonight, too. So there you go. Paul Heyman gets the victory, a little cheap victory, thanks to Ryback getting involved. 2.2. It was kind of a silly match. We kind of knew it was going to be kind of stupid, but hey. It was okay. I like the table involvement, despite Ryback coming out. So, apparently, Punk, Ryback's feuding again? That was so last year. And it wasn't that weird. That last year, when Punk feuded with Ryback, that's when Paul Heyman came into the picture. Last year, around this time, when Paul Heyman first debuted with Punk, that's when Ryback started feuding with Punk over the championship and getting screwed numerous times by the Shield and Brad Maddox and all that, the title. So who would have thunk that 1 year later, Ryback would be in cahoots with Paul Heyman against Punk again? So, my oh my, what a difference a year makes. now with another last minute matchup for the United States Championship. Now, I was wondering who was going to take on Ambrose. They didn't really announce it till later on this week on SmackDown. I missed SmackDown, watched SmackDown, and I was busy at a wedding. Dolph Ziggler got the opportunity to wrestle Dolph Ziggler. Got the opportunity to wrestle Dean Ambrose. Now, Ambrose attacked Dolph Ziggler before a match a few weeks ago, and of course, Shield was in a handicap match against Dolph, and Dolph's been one of the many people that got punished a lot by Triple H after speaking out against the whole corporation thing. And the match was okay. There was a one cool spot that Dolph did off the top, but we did like a little face thing. Like a little face buster on the top rope. It was kind of a cool move from the top. That was an awesome move from the top. And Dolph did try to show off he ways. But of course, Dean Ambrose, being the sly guy that he is, of course, you know the Shield. They always find a way to get back in the game, and they indeed, Dean Ambrose did get back in the game. Despite all Dolph's best efforts, including narrowly after 2 attempts, a famouser. And Dolph had a good effort here, for being a last-minute matchup with no hype. Once again, Dolph had a great performance here. Trying to come back strong, and despite all the great offense he had, of course, Ambrose came flying back again after Dolph's attempt at a comeback. Indeed, despite Dolph's best efforts, like I said, delivering all his big moves, and almost trying to nail a zigzag. That's why I was thinking he was at least going once for the zigzag. In the end, Ambrose got the headlock driver after Ziggler tried to counter it numerous times and tried to block it and got the victory with the headlock driver. Dean Ambrose retained the United States Championship. Straight into the tag team title match. The PTP, Primetime Players, winning the tag team turmoil, taking on Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. By the way, Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose's match, 2.0. Not 2.0 tonight. That's why I'm rating this pay-per-view 6.5 tonight. Main event got a higher rating out of everybody because it was like great, decent action tonight, but nothing much exciting. Like nothing 5 star, like 3 or 4 stars to me tonight. So we're on the tag team title match. PTP came up with the fans. The fans have really gotten to him. Whether it's because of Darren Young being out of this game or whatever, I think PTP being on the face turn, I knew they were going to get a big push after turning face a few weeks ago and being on a wall. And I predicted they were going to get a tag team title match after Final Kiwi got injured. So I was happy to see him in a title match and happy to see him get a push. And they had a great matchup, great effort for these guys. Titus came in, first beat up Rollins for a little bit until Darren Young got in and did his own little flashy moves. The guy who declares he has no days off, of course, looked like he was having no days off and dominating with his high flashy moves on Rollins until indeed Rollins, like every other member of the Shield, got back in the game after Titus got back in, put the Rollins in the corner, stomping the hell out of him with the whistle blowing when he was stomping Rollins in the corner. And then that's when Darren Young got tagged back in and got isolated in the corner by Rollins and Reigns, getting back in the game after a cheap, sly move. So, there you go. Tagging in and out, Rollins and Reigns, isolating D Young, and D Young was trying his best to get back to his partner Titus O'Neil for the big hot tag. But indeed, they kept isolating him. He tried his best, but then eventually, after being isolated by the Shield, Darren Young did get the hot tag. The Titus O'Neil coming in like a man possessed, whatever analogy you want to use. Double close on both men. And of course, howling to the fans like, oh, 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 oh. The fans were on his side and really looking like they were going to do it. And Titus did nail his big finish on Rollins. The big move known as the Clash of the Titus. And then Rollins Reigns break up the count. And I kind of knew that they were going to break up the count. And then Darren Young got involved trying to take down Reigns. But then Reigns pushed Young out of the ring. And then the referee got distracted pushing Darren Young out of the ring. And as Rollins and Titus was in the ring, I was like, I smell a spear. I'm a wrestling fan, so I can sense when spots are going to happen. Yes, it did. Spear did happen on Roman Reigns nailing Dinosaur Nero's referee was expected taking out Darren Young in a 1-2-3 victory for the Shield, retaining all their titles tonight. Decent effort from the Primetime players. Great effort. I think they'll get another shot, but hey, it's nice to see them get a shot for once. But I think they will be champs. I said they should be champs, and I hope they will be. I hope that we don't hold them down like they did Primetime. Crime time. Anyway, 2.2 for that match. Now on to our main event for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton against Daniel Bryan. There was no interference in the matchup, as Triple H stated. I was happy there was no interference. But the match may have ended in a little controversial fashion, though. And I mentioned it would be a lot of explaining on water tomorrow night. Like I said, besides questioning about Ryback's involvement with Heyman, questioned the ending of the main event. And I was happy no one came out after the ending, but still, I bet you it would be answered. It'd be discussed tomorrow. Anyway, of course, the fans in Detroit going nuts when D-Bryan came out, as expected, for his match against Orton. Fans, yes, all over. And of course, D-Bryan came out, swinging right out of the gates, coming in with, of course, his yes style was a big nasty kicks, and splashing Orton in every corner. I think he wanting splash Orton like every corner but one. When he got punched by Orton, I think he did it 2 times. Like he went on one side and splashed him, went on the other side and splashed him outside. Then the 3rd time he got slapped by Orton, and then Orton did his Hangman DDT from the ring apron. From the ring canvas, like on the corner of the corner of the canvas. That was kind of, and on the outside. That was like, wow, that was very intense. And then the referee was knocked out at one point in the matchup. Scott also was knocked out by Orton. I think Orton made Bryan one inadvertently to the referee. I think that was Orton's sneaky way of trying to get desperately disqualified, but thankfully that never happened like Del Rio did. And then another referee came in after D-Bryan attempted the yes lock. Then Orton came in with a big money power slam. And then he did put D-Bryan in the trio wall and then nailed Bryan in the trio wall. And after that, that just woke Bryan up. The beast inside of him woke up. The beard was unleashed. The goat was unleashed after that being put in the trio wall. He came back up and fired up. The big punches, the big kicks, the big knees, big everything. The big splashes again. Really setting up some big moves on Orton, including a big top rope diving headbutt. It was like Orton was so far from the apron when D-Bryan nailed this move, so I was happy he got to nail it. But it was a near fall. And then the first referee got knocked out, second referee came in. Then the first referee, Scott Armstrong, came back in. So there you go. As he got back in, Orton tried the RKO numerous times in this matchup. And even Orton even once again parodied yes, doing this, even didn't know at one point too. So there you go. But as Orton was going for another big move, Orton came back. Bryan came back with some big kicks. And he did the same move he did to Orton on Monday. In the same move, he won the WWE Championship against Cena at SummerSlam, coming right from the corner, delivering a running knee to the face of Orton. And a 1, 2, 3 victory for Daniel Bryan. Or should I say a 1, 2, 3 victory for Daniel Bryan, winning the WWE Championship again. I said some screwing was going to happen to myself, whether it's interference or a screwy call. I was discussing it with my dad who watches the shows with me, and he said something like, maybe Orton's going to lose, but he's giving his foot on the rope or something. Like a screwy thing that a referee didn't notice. Or in this case, a fast count. D-Bryan won by a fast count. And I thought at that moment Triple H was going to come out and spoil the festivities again and restart the match after that quick count. But we ended the champions with the crowd going nuts and D-Bryan standing tall as the WWE Champion. That's gonna once again like the SummerSlam ending just came the fuck out of nowhere like the SummerSlam ending. It was like straight down to the ending of the match itself with D-Bryan coming with the running knee to the face of Orton. I'll give it back to 3.0. It was a fun matchup though. You know, I only gave it 3.0 because it was a decent matchup, and I'm happy that at least Daniel Bryan won and walked out of Night of Champions as WWE Champion and not getting screwed again like at SummerSlam. But I know he'll probably lose it somehow. You know, at least Bryan can relish, at least he can have the championship longer than 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It'll probably last about a month. I bet you there will be a rematch either on Raw tomorrow night or at Battleground. Seen from the fast count. It will be commented, like I said. Questions will be answered on the wall, like I said, with Heyman involvement with Ryback. Was Ryback in cahoots with Heyman the entire time against Punk? The Heyman figures attempts to get out of the matches to play games with Punk or whatever. And of course, the big question is, will Randy Orton get a rematch? I don't want him to, but he will because, like I said, screw it. You know, fast count. You know, I love the fact that he won though. So at least he won in Detroit, and the crowd going nuts. You know, at least the celebration wasn't tainted this time like it was in SummerSlam. But at least D-Boy had his moment. D-Boy had his moment to be champion and not have it ruined like at SummerSlam. At least he has his moment. I don't know how long it'll last, but hey, at least for now, D-Boy is the WWE champion. That is it for my WWE United Champions review. I will see you all later once again. My review was 6.5 out of 10. I was going to give it a 6.0, but I gave it an extra 5 after seeing D-Boy win the championship tonight. Thank you all very much for watching my review. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Have a great night, everybody. Yes! Yes! Yes!